Keeping track of your project history is important in many situations. If at a later stage you want to make sure that you understand the status quo at a certain date, it's crucial that you have kept track of your project's history throughout its lifetime. For example, imagine your project, Project A, is the basis of someone else's project, Project B. Project B uses Project A in its latest and most up-to-date state when it's made. But you continue working on Project A, and you make several updates. For Project B, simply referring to Project A will probably not be sufficient. It would be useful instead to be able to refer to Project A in a way that makes it clear what the state was when the project was used. In this section, we're going to look into ways that you can keep track of your project history. We will be using tools that you already understand. There are more sophisticated tools out there that we do want to recommend you look into. Using dedicated version control software, such as Git, is easier than you may think, and it is supported by many text editors, and it also has several graphical interfaces. Git is really one of those tools that will save you so much time in the long run. It is absolutely worth the time investment. But for today, let's start with the basics. Tip 1. Keep a changelog. A changelog is a dedicated file where you keep track of the history of your project. This file lives in the root of your project, and it describes important changes that you made to the project throughout its lifetime. These changes are always accompanied by the date that they were implemented. Descriptions in a changelog need not be complicated or elaborate, but they are an important reference for changes that were made in the past and when. A changelog typically sorts changes into types: added for new features, changed for changes in existing functionality, deprecated for soon-to-be removed features, removed for now removed features, fixed for any bug fixes, and security in case of vulnerabilities. Tip 2. Formalize your updates using semantic versioning. When substantial changes have been made, it can be useful to release a new version of your project. You may have seen version numbers associated to software or other projects in the past. They usually consist of 3 elements, and these 3 numbers have their own meaning. The first one is the major version, then the minor version, and finally a patch number. This system is called semantic versioning. Not every project follows these rules, but they are quite common, and these rules are therefore quite useful when interpreting other projects' version numbers. This is what they mean. The patch number is updated when small repairs to the project are made or when bugs are fixed. If new aspects of the project are added, new functionality is introduced, then the minor version is updated. Importantly, if another project, Project B, uses your project, Project A, and Project B was made using Project A's version 1.2.0, then an update in the minor version to version 1.3.0 should not break Project B. In other words, new things can be added, but a minor version change signals that nothing that worked before has been affected. If there's a big change, and for example, an existing part of the project is altered, then this warrants a major version change. At this point, the minor and patch numbers go back to 0. If Project B was built with Project A version 1.2.0, then Project A version 2.0.0 no longer guarantees that it will work the same way. Using the number 0 is a fully legitimate way to number versions. It does have a specific role to play. The major version 0 is reserved to indicate that this project is still in its initial development. Thus, a common first version of a project is 1.0.1. This is usually a project that is under development, but a version is out that is ready to be shown to the world. Once a version is released, any updates made to the project will be for the next version. Did you make a new version release only to realize that you made a typo? Well, that'll be your first patch. With every version change, you obviously update the changelog. What relevant things have happened between the previous version and now? You may not think that your project is worthy of versioning. Well, think back to the last time you wrote a manuscript. Did it look anything like this? Those are versions too. They're just not properly standardized.